Well guys, today is tub day. I'm so excited. We're going to be installing our freestanding soaker tub and our tub faucet filler. But first, thinking in from the beginning, the last thing I want to do on this job is crawl in behind there, put on my base trim, finish trimming the window. So we're going to do all that first. We're going to do it real quick for you so we can get right into putting in the tub, because I'm really looking forward to dropping it into this special system that we installed right back from the very beginning of this build, so that we don't have to open up anything from underneath to make the connection. This is the side that has to remain unscratched forever and ever, amen. Okay, so we can set it on the back in the room here. Just set it down. Okay. Where's my plug? Where's my plug? Right there.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, actually, it's not terrible. I wouldn't mind it a little closer to the ground though. I think the feet are rolled out too far. Okay, I think our floor's flat enough. Just taking a look at this, we should get closer to the ground. So let's pull it out and then set it on its back. All right guys, here's our tub. And here's the situation. This has framing, reinforced fiberglass, adjustable legs. Great, great, great. Now, the goal here is not to put all the weight on just the legs, okay? It's kind of like, to give you more stability when you're getting in and out of the tub. You want the edge of the tub right here to be on the ground. The legs are here to supply stability to the actual inside of the tub, so it's not deflecting and moving around. It reduces the risk of cracks down the road. We really want the tub sitting on this. So what we want to do, and this is one of the reasons why when we installed the tile, we used a tile leveling system. I put my framing square across the feet. I'm a 1/4 inch off here, a 1/4 inch off here. So what I want to do, oh yeah, that's going to be really hard, isn't it? I'll loosen the nut to do it. And what I want to do is I want to take my adjustable wrench here, okay, loosen off that nut. And now I can set this to where I'm flush with the edge of that tub. So that the feet and the edge of the tub are making contact at the same time. All right. Perfect. Once we got that location, I'm going to hold the foot, put that nut where it belongs, and then give it a 1/4 turn. Okay. And then now that will be set there for life. And we'll double check that we didn't adjust anything too far one way or another. That's about as close as you're ever going to get on any given Sunday. All right. Here we go. We'll do this over here as well. Yeah, that's a big gap. Contact to contact. All right. Good. It seems like all of these feet are factory delivered a 1/4 inch out. And that is not too terrible. All right. But when you make a flat floor, you got the ability to really increase the quality of your install. Now when I set this in place, it should have no gap from the tub to the floor, which means when I go to add my silicone seal, I can use a high quality structural clear silicone, not translucent. Translucent goes yellow, the clear stays clear. And we can put a bead of this around the outside of the tub to help stabilize it from movement and to give it some adhesion to the tile so it avoids tip over, because there's always somebody who wants to get into a tub when there's no water in it These are not designed to be climbed in without water. The water that fills the tub is actually designed to keep this thing from tipping over, all right? So I always have the silicone. It's not for waterproofing, it's for stability. Okay, so I've got a little bit of a rock here. That's gonna be normal. Let's find out where it is. So I'm gonna put weight on the front. The back corner just a touch. Middle's fine. Yeah, this back corner here. So I'm gonna take it back over on its side, add 1/8 of an inch to the back 2 corners, okay? Just to make sure that everything's making contact. This is a great note because just because you use a floor leveling system with the Detramat, there's still dimensional lumber as your floor joist. So it's not a big thing for tile to follow each other in a bowl-like configuration or a hump. So these things happen. Check and double check. Okay. So like I said, I'm not as concerned about the back being in contact with the tile as I am the feet on the back side, okay? So if something has to give in order to make this work, here we go, there's an 1/8. Whoops, I went the wrong direction. I'm gonna have to use this now. If something has to sacrifice, not be perfect, let it be the back side of the tub that'll be off the ground. And in most cases, you're not gonna be able to get back there to get silicone on it anyway, okay? But the front side, what happens is people are standing here and they'll go to step in and then they'll lean on the back side to lift the other foot in, okay? And that motion, if they lose their footing, that's when all their weight goes on the back of the tub. That's why the front of this should be adhered to the surface. All right. Go. Add an 1/8. Okay. Now we're just making adjustments for the floor itself now. There we go. Let's get that right in the final position there. That 1 foot is sticking out just a little proud. Just a little proud. Get on there. There we go. Okay. Okay. Wow. That's about as close as we're gonna get. Okay. We may not achieve perfection here, but we are gonna have is a really tiny gap. Okay, the tub has a concave curl to it already. And this allows me to fill that up and eliminate that shadow. All right, now we gotta attach our drain and then we can just set it in place. If you missed the video where we installed the drain system, okay, to connect so that we can install this tub from the top, we'll put that link in the video description. You're gonna wanna check that out if you're planning on using a tub like this. One of the reasons why you don't see this tub in a house very often is because the builders won't use them. Builders don't install a tub like this. I've tried on different occasions to get them to agree to change their design to put in a freestanding tub, but they had so many problems with doing warranty work in behind the tub. Warranty work is a result of the plumbing. Warranty work because you put the tub in after everything's finished, but then the ceiling can't be finished. The new technology allows us to do all of the plumbing from up top with that drain seal that's in the other video, changes the game, okay? So if you don't like your little Roman tub and you want to get rid of it, put in one of these, you can do all of that work from inside the same bathroom from above. You don't have to affect your ceiling anymore. And that's a game changer. Okay, here we go. So this particular tub comes with the overflow already attached to this little drain here. Make sure that that nut is nice and hand tight. It's gonna have a washer in it. The way the assembly works, I'll show you in a second, but first we wanna check if our nut is fitting on these threads comfortable. Yes, see, it even has a little bit of wiggle room there, right? See that? That means we don't have any risk of cross threading when we go to install. Here's our tailpipe. I've got almost 6 inches going below the floor. And in my drain assembly, my gasket is about 3 inches from the top, so it's a perfect size. So here's what I call the hat gasket. Looks like a little top hat. Goes in there like that, sits flush with the sides, okay? This can be compressed. And we slide this ring on, okay? We stick it on the hole. Now there's only one groove that starts, so you gotta line that up. The easiest way to do it is go backwards, pushing with all 4 fingers until it sits in position. There it goes. Now you know you're not gonna cross thread it. Because when you're working with metal parts and plastic threads, the biggest enemy you have is cross threading it. You'll never get the right compression. Okay, and then when you go finger tight, now's the time to pull out the old big jaws here. Get this bad boy on here. You want to go another full quarter. Because you want to put that gasket, that hat gasket under compression. Now we got a seal. Now all we got to do is lift this in. And because lifting it isn't a 2-man job, make sure you organize your schedule. They're not heavy. The tub itself weighs about 50 pounds. So it's just awkward. And because this is metal and because we have a plastic connection, we want to lift it up, then rotate it and set it straight into the hole. Once we install the tub, we're also going to do the stand-up tub tower filler, okay? It's about a 3.5 foot tall chrome piece of fixture. But I wanted to demonstrate this. Here's our plug. Okay, this is just to keep the sewer gases out of the room while we're working from when we first set this in place till now. And this is my rubber gasket. And here's an extension for a tailpiece, so it demonstrates it. This is, look at all the room here. So we can just get it in roughly the spot and it'll seal it right there. And then we're just gonna push it in place. There we go. That's the whole process right there in a nutshell. That way you get a brass pipe and a rubber gasket and it's waterproof forever.
Now you gotta move back some.
Yeah, we're gonna move back a bit and to my bit of it. There we go.
Yep.
Right there. Okay, now you gotta push on it. All right, there we are. Thank you. No. Doesn't go square. Actually goes on an angle on purpose. That's one of the benefits of this. See the benefit of this? Now that we're in this drain, I have all the flexibility in the world. I can rotate this tub and get it in the final position. Okay? So this gives you the ability, you can change it on an angle. Now before I put it in its final resting place and add the silicone seal so it doesn't move again, now we want to install our water tub filler so that it's exactly dead center of the end of the tub. Okay? So we'll wait on this because I can make adjustments. This drain installation is a miracle worker. Okay guys, so I went out and I picked up a female half to a male 3/8 because the fitting that I'm using has 2 lines that are 3/8. So I've got to put this on here, find that sweet spot, and this is my hot water line. Okay, I'm thinking all that thread sealer on there. With that much torque, I don't see that being a problem ever. All right, so just like when we did in the very beginning, when we were trying to identify when we were working on plywood, where the drain would be with the tub, where this goes, I have to now assemble the basic guts of this. And that's because machine threads have one entrance and one final resting place. Okay, so I don't know where to drill these holes until I put this together because I want to have the function of this tower in the right position when it's all tight together. Like if I install it based on, I just drill 3 random holes and I want this facing here. Well, when I put the final thread on, nice and tight, Oh, well that's tight. Now it's in the wrong spot. So what I should have done is go like this, put it where I want, mark the holes, okay? So assemble this first, make sure you got your final tighten. Now we're gonna go over here, set it in position, okay? Put the center of that tub right where I want it. Square this to the front, okay? Now this is also the shower wand. So, do we want it like this? Or do we want it like this? All these are options that we have because we got 5/8 plywood down there. And remember, I beefed up the framing. Okay, because people are in the tub, they're right-handed, they lean forward, they can pull that off. And for filling and for adjusting, that's easy to do, okay? Even if there's a vanity here, I can walk over and this swivels, okay? So I can just go, yep, here's my temperature, boom, 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 no big deal. Or, I would love to hear in your comment section what you would think. This way, so the temperature is something you're in control of, and you can pull the hose off with your left hand, and then, because you got two functions, right? Tub spout or the wand. That's what this is, a directional valve. And this is hot and cold, on or off. I'm thinking that there's so much going on here, I want to have this controlled on the right side and the hose on the left, and I'm going to go with it this way. Okay, give that nice and squared, final resting place, pointing at the drain. It's about as sexy as it's going to get. Now, I can pull out my marker, come down here, and just put a little black dot in the middle of all three of these, and that will be where I drill my holes through the tile to put my stainless steel number 10 screws, 2-inch, through the tile and through the plywood, and anchor that in place. Don't forget, when you're at the Home Depot, stainless screws actually say stainless on them, all right? Make sure you get the stainless kind. You don't want to install anything around or related to water that needs to last a long time without the word stainless. Just in case water gets underneath, you don't want to start to rust it out, okay? All right, so we got this, change function. We got this, on, off, hot and cold. Okay, and we've got this for a function for swivel. All right. Now I got to take it all apart again because now we know the final resting place. We also know that the water supply lines, which are here and here, okay, get the double gasket, get threaded into that column, into that neck. All right? So this gets assembled in stages. So the first thing we do is we mount this to the floor. Then we connect the water lines to the floor. And then we slide this piece over the water lines, connect it to the base. And then we connect these water lines into the neck, and then we tighten up the neck. Ay caramba. Now I've got a 1/4 inch diameter screw, okay? And I have an imperfect system for marking the hole. So, as a result, I've got to be somewhat careful here to give myself the room that if the screws aren't perfectly aligned in the hole's big enough for the screw, because if I just put 3/4 inch holes in and I don't line them perfectly, my screws are not going to go in right, and I risk compressing, putting pressure on the tile, and then breaking the tile. At this point in the job, anything you can do to minimize the risk of breaking a tile, you do. You spend whatever money you got to spend. Okay, so there's 2 of my screws. Here's another one. All right, now I'm going to go, instead of a 1/4 inch, I'm going with a 5/16, okay? It's just going to go in the chuck here. Okay, and it should have like a triangle smooth out shaft for this kind of truck. Exactly. All right. Good ones have smooth out sides. The cheap ones are just solid round, and they always end up spinning when they get compression. All right, so we got that. We got this. Let's drill some holes. These bits have got very sharp tips. They're amazing at cutting through the glaze. What I recommend is you could almost use one blade for each 3 holes. Anticipate that. So cut through all the glaze on all 3 holes before you try to finish it off, because the porcelain on the back side of the tile is not as difficult as the glaze on the front. There we are. I'm just going to get all these started in case the tip gets compromised. All right. Okay, here we go. So just a real quick note. If you have other tips and tricks about doing any of this installation, please hit up the comment section. Okay, we're all learning together. We all have different life experience. One of the experiences people were telling me in previous videos is, Jeff, you should put water when you're drilling the hole. And yeah, I get it, right? But if I'm only making 3 holes, I know I'm gonna burn a bit. I'm not too concerned about it. But for the purpose of the experiment, we're gonna add a little bit of water. We're gonna try to keep it cool. Remember, slow and cool makes the bit last longer. The faster you go and the hotter it gets, the faster it wears out. So I've just added a little bit of water. We're gonna see if this helps keep it cool down. It's getting awfully hot. Woo! You can smell it too. Wow. Look at that, bubbling. It's got to punch through at least once here. Look at the tip. That's about the thickness of the tile. It's buried right in there. We're just about to come out the other side and go through the thin set. There it is. All right, next. Here we go. This time, I put a lot of weight on it, and it really sped up the production, okay? So it didn't generate so many spins, didn't take so much work, didn't create so much heat. Yeah, you see the bit's starting to burn. We only got three holes drilled out of this. That's about all you're ever gonna expect to get. 3 holes. That was the goal. No chip tile. So before we put this collar on, we're gonna do as much of this plumbing as we can. We turned the water off at the street, we drained the lines, but this is the lowest fixture in the house right now. So it is guaranteed to leak. Good news, there's a hole in the floor. So hopefully it won't leak too bad. And it'll just go right down the hole. And I got a sponge here to make that of no consequence. That's awesome. Okay, now I'm gonna line these up. Okay. This all has to be anchored first. What we do is we take turns after the fact. We have to connect these water lines and then push them down into the floor. It seems like an almost impossible task, to be honest with you, but let's just give this a shot. Okay. Well, my attempt to have these lines on with the cold water marked, it was ingenious, but it failed because I didn't pull it all the way out of the thin set. But that's fine. That's my hot, that's my cold. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm all in the right position. Make sure that we got the plumbing as convenient as possible here. I can get in here and maneuver. Push that one out of the way. Bring this one up. Okay. Wow. Okay, that's it. We're not going any further. Last thing I need to do is go and smash the tile in half under compression here. We got our hot and cold water lines. Now, you've got to be kidding me. Boy, that is cheap. They don't have it marked hot or cold. Yes, they do. And here's how we're going to tell. When I see a fixture like this, I expect hot and cold to come in like this. Hot should be on the left, okay? But when you take a look at the bottom, there's a little symbol here. Hot is one side, cold is the other. Okay, so we can correspond these holes with those two dots. So hot's on my left this way, but it's on the top this way. Make sense? And really all we do is insert it and then find that thread, that sweet spot. There we go. And we thread that in until we get a little finger snug. Okay. And then it's not down here is designed. You can then put a little bit of torque. Make sure you've engaged that gasket really firmly. I mean, the gasket's pretty thin, right? But once you get that machine thread, you can engage this first ring really nice and tight and flatten it out. And the second one's just there for backup. Same thing. Just quarter turn, not too much. You don't want to flatten to the point where you crack it and break it, okay? Now, match up the male and female threads. Put those pipes in your tube. Backwards till we feel it click. And we should have it so we have our plumbing exposed still. This is where it's nice to have an extra pair of hands because now I literally, wow, this is nuts. Okay. I'm having a hard time seeing the end from the beginning here and it's freaking me out. Again, that's on a gasket. We should be able to be pushed down now. Oh, happy spot. Bring the other one up. Not the easiest system, like I said. But it sure was the right price, eh? Thank God there's gaskets. So once I get it tightened up, I don't have to over-tighten it too much. The secret here is to put this on first before you connect your water lines. Yeah, back to the drawing board. Okay, somebody was out there watching this, and you're gonna be in the comment section going, what about that? You betcha, what about that? Listen, these things happen. When you're DIYing your own renos, you don't have 300 of these installations in your back pocket. Yeah, I even read the instructions. You think I remembered it? More times than not, I'll forget instructions because I'm busy filming. There we go. Let go. All right, all that to do this. Okay. So this is where we get to the tricky part, guys. We got our water lines on. I got a good situation happening here. I have a meter, so if there's water moving through the line, the meter dial changes. So after I close all this up, we can confirm whether or not it got a good seal, again, when we're finished. So remember that I have a neck here that's got 2 water lines in it. Each of them have been threaded into gasket seal under compression. I got the water lines at the bottom under compression, and I have 2 threads here that I've got to now engage. So I'm going to try to push all that plumbing back into the floor. Okay, in order to do that, that one out of the way, there we go. Okay. Okay, and I have to thread this. Now what's happening here as I turn this is turning too. So then I have to unscrew it to then screw it. Does that make sense? Because these 2 water lines, I don't want to get them twisting up too much. Which one's tightening down? Here it is. So I'm gonna loosen this one to tighten this one. Wait a second, I got my math backwards here. I gotta go this way. Let me just get my head in. That one's going this way. This one tightens the same direction. I just don't see how the hell that's gonna work. This is the craziest damn installation I've ever heard of in my life. They honestly can't expect us to make those connections in that tiny little space underneath that. If this is clockwise, I don't want to be twisting the lines. And that's exactly what happens when I start twisting this. It twists the lines. Right? So I have to go this way. To then thread. Okay. And I'm supposed to expect that this thing here will now thread and not cross those lines up. This is insane. Just look at how many threads I'm out of this tower now. But it's cheap. All right. So just to be clear, my option, my only option is to tighten everything in place and then make that water connection on both of those lines in this 3/4 of an inch plumbing. Or crawl in underneath the trailer and do it from underneath. This is the dumbest installation I've ever thought about. I wish I read the instructions before I move forward with this. Because to me, it looks like I'm crawling under the trailer to make the water connection. I don't see another way. This is a physical impossibility to turn this clockwise and keep this from moving when it's connected clockwise. It unthreads while I thread. And these lines don't have the capacity to continually twist 20 times in a row. I've got 12 threads. All right. This will be a picture that I sent home to the wife so she thinks I'm getting everything done. Let me show you the one other feature about this thing before I go crawl into the trailer, because there's just no way that I can do that on camera, guys. I'm just sorry. I'm gonna have to, but I can't do it on camera. But I will show you this. This is a metal supply line hose, okay? It's not plastic, it does not kink. This is a good quality hose. Lousy engineering on this product, but a good quality hose, okay? Comes with these little caps on them. You gotta get these stuff off of here. They both have washers. One of them will have this saddle. It's kind of like a V shape a little bit, so it sits in, okay? And this one is gonna be designed to connect to the water supply line, which will be over here. Then you can connect this one. Now these gaskets are really good. They engage easily enough. Okay, so then I have two functions here. One is for the tub, or you can take this out, and one is for your hand. I'm just filling up my P-trap now because we don't want to let the sewer gases come into the house. Okay, there we go. Now this is going to drip forever in a day, isn't it? I turn it off. How long is that water going to come out? Till the line depressurizes, I guess. So realize you're going to get some water coming out on your floor with this. All right, so if you use it, when you're done your tub, when you're done using it, just leave it hanging inside your tub until you've turned everything off and everything's drained out. All right, and that way you'll avoid putting puddles on your floor. It's cute, it's functional, but it's not stable. It's only on 2 or 3 threads right now, so I can't stabilize it until I get underneath, disconnect the plumbing, turn the water off, tighten all this up, get back underneath, reconnect all the plumbing. That'll be tomorrow. Okay, so of course the day after we have this problem, we can't thread it all together. The solution was made readily apparent. Because we took the time to identify the locations of the base, and because the water supply lines are connected, fixed 2 positions, and we have 2 things that are both going clockwise to come together, the only solution for tightening this all up is to actually remove the screws. There we go. Okay. Now I can lift this and rotate the top part without the water lines getting twisted until it's in the lock position. And then I can spin the bottom until they're in their lock position. And this will end up right here. Just like we originally planned. And then we'll just throw these screws right back down again. There was a lot of frustration. Sometimes working tired at the end of the day, you know, you just need a little bit of sleep. If something's not working for you, walk away, get some rest. That's probably the only solution you're going to need. There we go. Perfect every time. All right, so now we got our bathtub installed. We got our water supply installed. Place is coming together. Love it when a plan comes together. Nice and quiet there. Let's see how she drains. That's awesome. That's great drainage.